Hi everyone, my name's Nora Crone and I'm a violist in New York City, co-founder of the Till Project for String Players and a musician's vocal dystonia recovery advocate. Today I'm going to be talking about a very important principle when it comes to vocal dystonia recovery, and it involves changing our brain's maps. So bust out your atlas everyone, because we're talking about root A and root B. Okay, a quick note for anyone new to this channel. This video will probably make more sense if you check out some of my previous videos where I explain more about the process that helped me recover from dystonia. I'll leave some links down below, but the gist is that through learning a system of playing called the Till approach with a violinist named Sophie Till, I gradually changed my brain through movement and my symptoms slowly disappeared. After 2 years of regular lessons, I returned to professional playing, and now I assist others, primarily violists and violinists, in their recovery. So, root A and root B. You can think about playing a little bit like taking a trip in your car to a very familiar destination. Your home to your work, for example, or your place to your parents' house. You get the idea. And the way that you're used to going, which you could practically do blindfolded, we're going to call root A. And for some inexplicable and maddening reason, all of a sudden, every single time you take root A, you hit a roadblock or get in a car crash. This, of course, is dystonia in a nutshell. The process of recovery that worked for me and that forms the basis of my work with others is via learning a completely different route for the brain and body, and we can call that root B. Root A and root B lead to the same destination, the music, but via two completely separate paths. And the most salient distinguishing characteristic between these two paths is what we call physical logic. So I explained quite a bit about physical logic in some of my previous videos, which I will link to down below. But the idea is that if we follow the same principles in our approach to the instrument that we use in our everyday movement, not only are we giving the brain a totally different route from the problematic one that it's trying to use, that new route is actually going to be more efficient and reliable than the old one ever was to begin with. Now, I'm not a neuroscientist, so I won't speculate why all of a sudden a route that's seemingly gotten you to your destination faithfully for years is no longer an option. Nor am I here to dissuade you from trying to find a way to make route A work for you again if that's the strategy that you're pursuing. But what I can tell you from my own experience is, once I recognized how fundamentally illogical and inefficient route A was, I wouldn't have been interested in recovering it even if that had been an option. If you want to get a sense of what I mean, I invite you to check out some of my previous videos. So learning route B is actually a pretty straightforward process. Step by step, we learn the necessary movements for playing by accessing what we call blueprint experiences. In other words, reference experiences, often with the opposite arm or with other objects, which we then apply to the affected arm on the instrument. One piece at a time, we begin constructing an alternative to route A for the brain and the body. Now, if that sounds laborious to you, I can say that while it absolutely isn't an easy process, the good news is that because these are the same patterns that we use in daily life, they're recognizable to the brain and body, and therefore they become just as integrated and reliable as tying our shoes or brushing our teeth. And because we're constructing something durable and logical, it's actually pretty straightforward compared to trying to figure out if route A will work again if we leave on Wednesday at 5 a.m. or if we wear green socks on the trip or drive around the block 3 times beforehand. Now, I'm being silly, of course, and I'm also not in any way trying to make fun of anyone or dismiss other ideas. It's just that we can really make ourselves crazy trying to reproduce route A. And for anyone who is interested, I would like to introduce an alternative. Now, the unassailable logic of route B doesn't necessarily mean that the brain won't continue to take off down route A a lot during the process. It absolutely will, partly out of sheer habit and partly because when the brain doesn't see a clear and viable alternative to its final destination, whether that final destination be Mozart G major concerto or octaves or up bow staccato, it will quickly revert to route A because that's the most established pattern. But the more we deepen our familiarity with route B, the less often this happens and the less disastrous the consequences when it does. In a sense, the entire recovery process that I'm proposing rests on this idea of supplanting route A with route B so completely that the brain forgets about route A. And it's for this reason that consistency in our approach is so important. Now, people often ask if they have to stop playing completely during recovery in order to not reinforce the wrong patterns. And the short answer is not usually. However, whether or not our livelihood or our sanity require us to keep playing in the meantime, we do need to develop a strong sense of route B if we're going to get to our destination with no mishaps. So I hope that's given you some things to think about. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who you think could benefit from this information. If you want to know more about dystonia recovery, you can subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know more about healthy string playing in general, you can also subscribe to the Dill Project. My name is Nora Crone and my website is www.noracrone.com. Thanks everyone. See you next time.